Good afternoon, and thank you all for joining us today. I am Desai, and I will be your host. Let's start with my background. I started my professional career at Merrill Lynch with their private client group. At Merrill, we manage portfolios of high net worth individuals. While it was great to trade stocks and bonds, I was always curious about how these companies went public. Thus, after business school, I joined Pacific Crest Securities. PCS is a tech-focused investment bank with a global presence focused on software, communications, semiconductor, and internet and digital media. Here are a few transactions I worked on at PCS. In 2005, IPOs were at the peak, and it was amazing to take all these companies public. But that led to another question. How do VCs know what companies to invest in and which ones to take public? Thus, I joined Alpha Capital Partners. Alpha is a generalist fund with about 135 million of assets under management. My most recent transaction at Alpha was Circon, a software as a service provider company. During my time at Alpha, I realized how inefficient the fundraising process was, not necessarily at Alpha, but in general. That's how NIN Ventures came into existence. NIN Ventures is a first of its kind technology venture capital fund to be marketed, raised, managed, and reported online. The general solicitation and general advertising under the Jobs Act and Rule 506C of the U.S. Securities Act made it possible for us to raise this fund. This rule came into effect September 23rd, and we were the first ones to go live with a website and videos about our fund. NIN Ventures also became the first venture fund to be seen on a billboard, which was followed by in-taxi ads and other social media facilitated marketing. Again, what is NIN.VC? We're a first of its kind, unique web-based crowdfunded technology venture capital fund for accredited investors that can invest in Series A and B rounds of disruptive technology companies. Recently, Wealth and Finance International magazine awarded us as the best technology venture capital fund in Illinois for Alternative Investment Awards 2015 and the best crowdfunded technology venture capital fund in US for 2015 Fund Awards. Most recently, Acquisition International awarded us as the best technology venture capital fund for its 2016 International Fund Awards. And I was awarded 2015 CEO of the Year Illinois for innovation and contribution to the venture capital and private equity industry. Moving on, why NIN.VC? In general, most people have a three-dimensional portfolio, that is stocks, bonds, and money market. But if you look at Harvard and Yale's portfolio, they have a four-dimensional portfolio, which is taking a long-term approach and investing in alternatives like venture capital. This long approach and investments in alternatives helps achieve true diversification and also mitigates the risk involved in having only a stock and bond portfolio. Well, the question is, why venture capital when you can invest in other asset classes? Historically, if you look at U.S. Venture Capital Index and S&P 500, you will notice U.S. Venture Capital Index tends to outperform S&P 500. And not only that, they have an inverse relationship. This is generally applicable to other alternative investments as well. Now the question is, why early stage technology venture capital? If you notice, from 2002 to 2012, technology investments have dominated the venture capital industry. And the highest amount of venture capital funding occurred in the early to expansion stage companies. If you notice, from 2004 to 2013, sector-focused funds have outperformed generalist funds. And technology sector has outperformed the rest of the U.S. venture capital index, with early and expansion stage companies yielding the highest returns. Now a little bit about the fund. What is NIN Ventures Technology Fund? We are a next generation technology venture capital fund that will invest in Series A and B rounds of disruptive technology companies. We write checks anywhere from 1 to 5 million based on industry, sector, and stage. Our strategy is to invest in companies for early to growth stage rounds. At NIN.VC, we start with an entrepreneur. We invest in an entrepreneur because entrepreneurs build companies and not the other way around. What is a disruptive technology? I must have said that 5 times. We invest in disruptive technology. The disruptive technology is an innovation that changes an existing industry and also helps create a new market and a value network, displacing an earlier technology or a way of doing business. Innovation does not bar geography, and with that mission and the mission to invest in the best possible deals, we have recently opened another office at the Hero City at the Draper University in the Silicon Valley. Every sector at some point is up for disruption. Our focus for 2016 is primarily on virtual reality, cloud computing, financial services technology, education software, mobile communication, the fourth industrial revolution, and among others, path-breaking sectors within the United States. Our goal is to invest in the next big trends within these sectors. For example, the fourth industrial revolution. We stand on the brink of a technological revolution that will fundamentally alter the way we live, work, and relate to one another. In its scale, scope, and complexity, this transformation will be unlike anything humankind has experienced before. For example, the first industrial revolution used water and steam power to mechanize production. The second used electronic power to create mass production. The third used electronics and information technology to automate production. Now, a fourth industrial revolution is built on the third one, which is called the digital revolution, that has been occurring since the middle of the last century, but actually taking place now. It is characterized by fusion of technologies that is blurring the lines between 3D, 4D, digital, and other smart and biological spheres. This is the evolution of the Industrial Revolution. So what does NIN.VC look for in a company? Disruptive technology requires an entrepreneur to take off against the wind, which is difficult, potential for disaster is evident, and the end is unknown. However, as long as the company has certain attributes like a good management team, disruptive technology, a viable product, a revenue-generating strategy that forms the basic foundation, that leads to a company's long-term success, and that's what we look for. What do we look for in a business plan? We believe in simplicity. As I mentioned before, intelligent people have complicated the world, but beauty lies in simplicity. We look for a disruptive product, good management team, revenue model. What is the strategy and when will they be cash flow positive, keeping the competition and other factors in mind? The simpler, the better. The easiest way of putting it. When it comes to our companies, we not only provide adequate financing, but lend our domain expertise and network of partners to help companies with recruitment, PR and marketing, and also a viable exit strategy. The strength of our team, the value of our network, and our funding model that is designed to reduce management costs creates this unique investment offering. Not only that, we bring a fresh vision to technology investing, which is the key for working with the next generation entrepreneurs. So who can invest in the fund? Recently, the SEC approved Title III Jobs Act equity crowdfunding for non-accredited investors, which allows any U.S. citizen, regardless of income, to make direct investments via the crowdfunding portal. However, investment in fund like ours is still limited to accredited investors. One must be an accredited investor and verify themselves as an accredited investor before they can invest in the NIN Ventures Technology QP Fund. An accredited investor is an individual with an income of more than $200,000 per year, or a joint income of $300,000 for the last 2 years, or has a net worth exceeding $1 million either individually or jointly with his or her spouse, excluding the primary residence. For an entity, any trust with in excess of $5 million qualifies. There are multiple ways to verify if you are an accredited investor. For example, for an individual, it's income, asset, and third-party verification. Third-party verification could be anybody, your accountant, your investment provider, your attorney. Same applies to entity. It can be an asset and third-party verification. So the next question is, what are the multiple ways of investing at NIN.VC? There are a wide range of options available when it comes to investing with us. For example, using your checking or savings account, defined benefit plans, self-directed IRAs, and even digital currencies. A defined benefit plan is a retirement plan that can invest in a wide range of securities and investment products, including venture funds. Some of the advantages of investing from a defined benefit plans are all contributions made to the plan and subsequently invested are top-line tax deductible to the business, whether the business structure is sole proprietorship, LLC, LLP, PC, C Corp, or even an S Corp. The investment growth is tax deferred under the umbrella of the under the defined benefit plan. The contributions might be significantly greater than those of the 401k profit sharing plan to help increase the retirement savings account for the business owner. To invest in NIN Ventures using a defined benefit plan, you must first sign up on NIN.VC and verify you are an accredited investor. Next is to establish a defined benefit plan with Robin Weingart & Associates or a auto service provider of your preference. Once the plan is established, the contribution is calculated. You can complete the subscription on the NIN Ventures website and then process your plan online as well. We also let investors invest in our fund using their retirement plans, for example, self-directed IRA. Self-directed is a descriptive term that is used to describe how some IRA providers administer the assets they hold. With the self-directed IRA, the client controls what their IRA invests in. Self-directed IRA allows investors to hold alternative assets within their tax-deferred retirement plans, such as private placements in venture capital, like us. Like an IRA investment, a self-directed IRA has built-in tax-deferred growth, and thus an individual will not pay capital gains tax on the growth of the investment. The return will flow back to the self-directed IRA and will not be taxable to the account owner, which is very important, and most people have invested in our funds using their self-directed IRA because of that. A self-directed IRA allows for true diversification that is otherwise not achievable in a standard IRA portfolio. To invest in NIN Ventures using self-directed IRA, same process as before. You sign up, you verify you are an accredited investor, you establish a plan here with the interest group. If you have a provider of your choice, feel free to use them. Once the plan is established, you can complete the subscription process on NIN.VC and process your payment. Digital currencies is emerging as a new form of alternative payment and a global currency. We at NIN.VC understand the significance of this change and thus have teamed up with Snapcard to let Bitcoin owners, or Litecoin or Dogecoin owners as a matter of fact, tap into venture capital. We allow digital currency owners to attain liquidity via Snapcard in return for an investment in the NIN Ventures Technology QP Fund. Now let's go through the investment process step by step. The first step is to sign up on NIN.VC, which is really simple: first name, last name, email, password, and you acknowledge you are an accredited investor. Once you sign up, you get access to our marketing materials, which is PPM, investor presentation, and other suggested reading. I highly recommend reading those if you're a first-time investor. You get invited to attend our events and calls like this one. You can also schedule a one-on-one meeting with us or our office or online via Skype. Once you decide to make an investment, accept the risk and disclosure statement that will explain what venture capital investment is. Next step is to verify accreditation. Once that is in order, it's a matter of filling out the subscription document in a W-9 form on NIN.VC. Last step is payment, and it's as simple as selecting the payment method and the amount you wish to invest. Please note that venture capital is a high-risk, high-reward investment vehicle, and we strongly recommend reviewing the other suggested reading on our website before making any investment decisions. On that note, we are open to questions. Please type your questions in the chat box, and we'll make sure we answer them all. For everyone that's attending are attending or calling in, please email us your questions and we'll make sure that we respond to all of those questions. Unfortunately, the chat box is only available to people that have clicked on the live webinar link. All right, I think we have our first question. Why Hero City? Why Silicon Valley? Well, Hero City is not only a great working environment, but its proximity to Draper University and future entrepreneurs, I think, will serve as a great source of deal flow to NIN.VC, and it makes total sense to be there. Do we have another question? Yeah, maybe we do. Can we schedule appointments there? I mean, by that, do you mean at Hero City? Sure. Like I mentioned before, once you sign up on NIN.VC, you get access to scheduling a one-on-one appointment, and right there, I think you can pick an option where you want the location and the time, and based on everybody's calendar, we'll be gladly available to take appointments there as well. Any other questions? Once again, thank you for being on the call. Sign up on NIN.VC to begin your investment process, and feel free to reach us at contact@NIN.VC or 312-953-0930 to schedule a one-on-one meeting or with any other questions and requests. We'll make sure that we answer all the questions that came via email. Have a wonderful day and happy investing.